Hi everyone! Episode 172 of the Fleece and Harmony Woolcast. And now we've expanded. I don't even know if Woolcast is good enough.
I'm still working with wool.
Yes,
oh,
I know.
Wait. No, we're going to add. No.
The crafting cast, maybe.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes. So if you're new here and you find yourself just immersed in this crazy place that we preside over. This is the Fleece and Harmony Woolcast, and we are recording this on, what day is it? April 29th?
Yes.
And it'll be published on May 2nd. And we are recording in our yarn shop. That's in our woolen mill. That's on our sheep farm in Belfast, Prince Edward Island.
Canada.
Yay, Canada!
We can't forget the Canada.
Yeah, no, we're gonna talk a little bit about Canada today, just to explain why. If I fall asleep halfway through the thing, we'll know why. And Simone too.
Yeah,
I had a late night.
Yeah,
it's not good for early birds.
No
elections. We had our election last night.
I just figured I'd find out in the morning.
Yes. Well, you don't. We still don't know the end of it. Anyway, we'll talk about that.
High and mighty over you too.
No.
You sound like you had a better night's sleep than we did.
Yeah, that's right. So if you haven't visited us before, we all three of us do multiple crafts, and we share those. We're mostly knitters and crocheters, I would say, but we do a lot of really different crafts, and you never know what you're going to get when you have here. If you've been following us all along and you've watched 172 episodes, congratulations. Wow. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for watching and supporting us. I do want to say, if you've been a long time watcher and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We're closing in on 20,000 subscribers. And so we got a little bit to go, but I know you're out there. Some people that just never, I do that too. I sometimes watch people and then I don't subscribe for no reason. I just I forget to do it. Yeah. So if you take a second and subscribe, that would be really helpful. And I think that's about it. So as always, we're going to start with the farm update, and then we have quite a full agenda today. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. I do create chapters, so if you go down into the description and we're talking about something that doesn't interest you, you can find whatever the next subject is down there in the description.
Or let her play and go make your coffee.
Yeah, sure. That's even better. Yes, Betsy, that's good. All right. So we'll talk a little bit about what's happening on the farm. We don't have a really like a shop update kind of roundup, but we talk about a lot of products in this episode, which I will put underneath us while we're talking about them. Maybe is going to be the easiest way to do it, because a little bit more organic than just listing through a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And we have a new kind of segment, which is going to be a designer spotlight. And Simone found a great newish designer, I would say. She's got 32 patterns.
45, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought when I looked yesterday, it's okay. So anyway, she's an up-and-comer, I think. Yeah. I guess we could call her that. Yeah. And so we're going to do a little retrospective of some of Simone's favorite patterns that she does. And then we're going to talk about her projects. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the Fiber Festival. And we're going to talk about, we have quite a lot of crochet classes in the Fiber Festival in October. So I'm going to talk about one of the instructors there. And you have recorded setting day footage. So lobster season started the other day, and Simone was up bright and early. It was before the crack of dawn.
Yeah, I was at the wharf at 4:15.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So she's taken some beautiful footage, and we'll put a little bit of music behind that, and that'll be the harmony part at the end. So you can just sit and relax and have a little peaceful moment before you get on with the rest of your day. Okay, so today we have a beautiful sunny day. Finally. It has been, how would we describe the weather?
Gloomy.
Just gloomy. Not really like like we had a lot of, I think it's unanimous that we had a lot of rain. And we had a lot of rain, but then other days it was just gray.
Yeah.
The internet wasn't working because it was so heavy, the cloud and everything. And it was crazy. Yeah. Crazy. And it was a little bit depressing, I have to say.
A little bit, more than a little bit.
Yeah. So anyway, so yesterday the sun came out in the afternoon. But it was cold and very windy. Mm-hmm. And today, though, we have beautiful sunshine.
Yeah, it was very crisp this morning. Everything was frosted.
Yeah.
I had this feeling that I was walking like in early November.
Oh, okay.
But then I got back to the house and I was told we're looking at like high 16, 17.
Oh, is that what's going to happen today? Oh, yay. Okay.
Yeah.
And today is the first day, believe it or not, even with all that gloomy weather and cold and whatever, we haven't had to feed the animals any extra hay today. So the sheep are eating grass and they're not touching, their feeders are full with hay, but they're not touching it. And the horses finished their last bale and there's a little bit of a pile there for them, but they're not touching that either. So our animals have probably 10 or 12 acres. The horses have a little bit more than that to graze over. So even though the grass it's green, starting to get really green, but it's not really very high right now, but they have plenty of space for the number of animals that we have that they can wander quite a lot far. And they seem to be, the sheep aren't even hardly drinking any water.
Okay.
Yeah.
That fresh plump grass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think they start very early in the morning because they're already out in the grass and then coming back to chew their cud, which takes the cycle is about 45 minutes. So they've already been out before we get there. And they're probably have the dew on the grass. So they're hardly even drinking water, although they have plenty of water.
Yeah. I was going to say, even Scout was going along this morning, just licking the grass.
Oh,
He was just enjoying the like frozen dew. He was like, this just tastes so good.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing? I was first, because sometimes dogs will grab a mouthful if their stomach's off.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't eating it. He was literally just like
taking a drink,
licking it up.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And he also has access to water.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so other than that, I don't think the day lilies are starting to peek through. I even saw my poppies are starting, like everything in the garden has started to come awake, which is hard to believe because it really didn't feel like spring. Yeah. But it happens anyway.
And it's definitely spring because I'm finding frog eggs and salamander eggs.
Oh, okay. So you know the difference between a frog's egg and a salamander egg?
Has to do with the jelly sacks.
Oh, great. Okay. Leave it to you, Simone, to be thrilled about the jelly sacks. All right.
Got one there.
Yeah, okay. But you have done something kind of exciting. So we had an election yesterday, for anybody that doesn't know, and we're not going to talk about politics. No. But let's just say it went into the early morning hours this morning, and then they had to let the poor people go from the polls because they were still counting like well past midnight. Yeah. And they took a little bit of a rest, and we still don't know what the final outcome yet because they've got, I think there's like 37 or 38 ridings that they didn't get to the end or something like that. So, and Simone worked at the
polling station.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah. So in Canada, we still count our ballots by hand. Yeah. So there's no machines. We're old school. You get a pencil when you go into you can use a pen or a pencil.
Yeah. Now you can use any color because during COVID, people had to take their own pens in a lot of places.
Oh, really?
So, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they'll even accept like purple ink.
Okay. All right. So, so tell us about it. You were telling me a little bit about it. It's pretty rigorous, eh?
We didn't work in a really busy polling station, so it was nice to kind of like dip your toes in and just kind of get used to the process. But it's interesting to see how that whole aspect of an election runs. Yeah. And just how detail oriented you have to be to run something like this. Yeah. And
it's really important.
The checks and the rechecks and the double checks.
And witnesses and show everybody has to see the ballot, you were saying.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to watch that whole process. And now it gave me a whole new respect for why it takes so long to get the results sometimes. Because if you're in a large riding, that's a lot of votes that have to be accounted for.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have advanced polls, so you're allowed to vote before the election day.
Yeah.
And this year I think we had the highest amount of advanced poll voters that we've ever had. It was like 7.3 million people.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. And the polling stations had the choice to count those ballots first or at the end, I think. For the advanced poll, so that's why some of the results were later, because they predicted that the people that voted in the advanced poll voted more one way than the other. So it when they started counting the advanced polls, when you were watching it on TV, we were among the first group to be counted because of our time zone.
Yeah.
It swung quite a lot with when they got into the advanced thing.
And it's a big country, so it's a lot of people, and there's a 4-hour time difference.
Yes.
So that also factors into things.
Yes.
Like, that's why it takes so long to get everything done.
And the people on the West Coast sometimes say that we're just like, it doesn't, of course it matters that they vote, but they're just saying the election's already decided by the time they get through Ontario and Quebec and everything. But not this time. They still don't even know this morning. So everybody's kind of waiting to see what happens. So, yeah. Okay, so that was gave you a little bit of a peek under the covers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm eager to do it again.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely do it
And your
again.
son is very interested in that as well.
Yeah, he's taking global studies in school, and he comes home with news all the time. Like, oh, did you know this?
And he was very disappointed that he's only going to turn
18 in September. So he couldn't vote in this election. He was bummed out.
It's good to hear somebody that's anxious to vote. Do their thing. All right, so we're just going to say what we're wearing.
T-shirt.
Okay. You had a shawl on.
I did, but I got too hot.
Okay. She actually had her Ryu on, but now that's over there. I'm wearing the striped floral bouquet shawl by Studio Mitsziko, which I think I'm pronouncing her name incorrectly every time I say it, but that's the way I say it. So I don't know. It's really, I'll put the title underneath. And this is an assigned pooling project. I've talked about it before. It's made in Selkirk Worsted, and we used, you have to buy a special assigned pooling yarn. This one is called Tea Rose, and we have a blue one which is called Nigella. And I striped it with slate and just used the natural for the lace edge. And I'm wearing, holding it together with, I don't know if you can see, we'll take a picture of it. This is a floral button from Jewel Design. So we have a whole selection of Jewel Design products. There are shawl pins and clasps and things like that for your knitting. But these are like the niftiest things ever. This is the large one, and it has a shank on it and a Chicago screw that goes into the shank. So you just put it between the stitches of your knitting, and you kind of tack it there, and it makes your knits very versatile. And what are you wearing?
I have a shifty from Andrea Mowry, Shifty Cowl, I think it's, or Shift Cowl. And I did it in solids, so it's a little different looking than the original, because I think she uses spin cycle with that one. But I really like it. So it just has some light gray, dark gray, and pink, and I find it so easy to wear.
Yes,
because it just
it's attached at the back. She does that structure quite a lot.
Yeah, she likes it. So I hope to make more of them, but there's just so much good.
It is convenient. You can just plop it over your head. So, okay, so that's what we're wearing, and I think we're going to go right to the designer spotlight. So, Simone, do you want to tell us all about Inez Sang?
Yes. So I came across Inez Sang of I Sang Knits on Instagram a while ago, and she was releasing a pattern, and it's been on my list since I first laid eyes on it. Mm-hmm. She's a Latvian knit designer that lives in Canada now. She lives in Vancouver, and she really seems to enjoy like soft color palettes with little tiny pops of color and a lot of like lace and texture. And mixing those two together.
Yes.
So I just find her designs to be really pleasing, and they're the kind of thing that would go with a lot of your wardrobe.
Yeah.
Especially if you have favorite colors that you typically wear. So I picked a few different designs of hers that I thought were very appealing and you might enjoy as well. So the first one is Winter Currents.
So I have created pictures of everything. So we'll put, and somebody has requested that we leave the pictures up a little bit longer when we're showing things. So I'll probably leave it for most of the time that you described.
Just stick them over my face.
Yeah, they'll probably go over. We'll just hear Simone's disembodied voice in the background.
Sorry, I'll bring it up here.
So this is a cable wrap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fairly intricately cabled. And it looks very plump and squishy. It's done in a gray, and I think it'd be fantastic in pretty well any color.
Yes.
It's a really, really lovely piece, and it's kind of classic. So it would be one of those things that you knit and you're going to have forever because it never really goes out of style.
Right. And it's pretty generous too.
It is. It's
and,
a large one.
Simone took the time to pick a yarn that we make here that would be suitable for each of these projects. And this one would be Selkirk worsted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think Selkirk worsted would really shine in this one.
Okay.
The next up is the Tilda hat and mittens. They're both free patterns, which is a bonus for you guys.
Yeah.
So you can kind of dip your toe in the waters of this designer.
Also cables, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cables. And what really got me was the big fat pom-pom on the hat.
Yeah.
You all know how much I love my pom-poms.
Yeah.
So this is a cabled hat and matching mittens, and it would be absolutely perfect in our signature Aran. Nice plump round yarn to show off those cables.
Yeah.
And again, it would be perfect in any color. It's just one solid color, so yeah, perfect in any color of your choosing.
Yes. So I have to say, when I was going through making the pictures for this, I was a little surprised, other than this is beautiful, but she has other mitten patterns and hats that have these beautiful little baubles and sprigs on them. So I'm not going to show anything here, but go and check out her design. And I was really surprised when, as soon as the picture came up, I was like, oh, that must be the one. And I was surprised that you didn't pick the one.
It was really close.
Yeah. I forget what it's called. It's something rose mittens, and it starts with G, golden or something like that. But anyway, go to her Ravelry site and you can see what she has. So we okay.
The next one is Amber Shore, and I have to admit, it was the colors that did me on this one, because it's got some of my favorite colors in the knitted sample. Yeah. So this one is a shawl, and it's got a little bit of color work, some baubles, but it would be an excellent project for any of those like variegated yarns that you're trying to figure out what you want to use them for. It would be very easy to pop those in here. And it would look amazing in solids as well. And
it has that kind of structure where you've got the color framed, right?
Yeah.
Like very,
it's kind of geometric.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I took a picture, closer up picture of that so people can see what it,
And of course, this one, the pick for the yarn in our shop would be Point Perm Sock. So you've got lots of colors to choose from. And we even have some variegates that you can pop in there just for fun.
Yeah.
I would totally do it with the jewel ones.
Yes. So we have a little kit. I don't know what the yardage is required, but the jewel tone, we have a kit with jewel tones, so you could use it as accents, or all the yarns in the jewel tone kits you can buy full skein. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the yardage for this particular project is 1,200 yards.
Oh, okay. So it's three.
Yeah. I think there's 600 yards total in one. So you could,
in the kit,
try and squeeze it out with two kits, or you could just go with full skeins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what she uses, is just 3 colors.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay. And I have to use my phone because I can't remember all this stuff just off the top of my head.
I probably left the picture up for most of it anyway. I like it.
Thank you. The next one is near and dear to my heart already. I haven't even knit it, but I know it's something that I would really enjoy because it's a mixture of textures and not just in the knitting, but the yarn too.
Yeah.
So this is Rasa, and it is another shawl pattern. It's knit on the bias by the looks of things in one particular yarn, and then they use a different yarn for the edging. So the yarns that I chose for this one were
Kid Silk Haze and Alpaca Classic.
Alpaca Classic. So yeah, Alpaca Classic is the center, and then the Kid Silk along the edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I was looking at that, I thought it might have been the opposite.
It could be,
But you could do whatever.
either
Yeah,
or.
I think you could do either.
Yeah.
Or,
Make it your own.
Yeah.
The wonderful thing about shawls is you can usually use whatever yarn you want to. So if you want a lacier shawl, you can go with a finer yarn. Or if you want kind of a denser, more pop in your shawl, then you can go with a thicker yarn.
Yeah.
I love knitting shawls.
Yeah.
I know they're not always the easiest to figure out how to wear, but I think that's because we all work a fairly active job.
Yeah.
Right? We're moving all the time. So to wear it to work is not practical. But if you work in an office or like anything where you're not having to kind of run around like a chicken with your head cut off all day.
Yeah.
I think I love them. They're just really, really fun ways to play with yarn. Because like Simone said, the guidelines, I mean, if you want exactly what the designer made, follow the guidelines given, but you can just adapt them so easily.
Yeah.
And fit is such a loose term for a shawl.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing I don't like is a skimpy one.
Yes,
Like,
true.
These all look pretty generous.
Yeah.
So nice. And well, you can see them on her body as well, like for size comparison. Okay, so that one, so it takes two yarns, but they're not held together.
No.
They're the separate for the different, which is nice.
You use
little-
one for the center portion of the shawl, and then another for the edging.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up is Smilga. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah.
But this one is really neat. Let's see here. This is the one that caught my attention first.
It looks so you.
She did it in kind of like a neutral color, like a soft brown or a beige, and it's got textured stitches, but it also has like fun little baubles in patterns. So they look almost like flowers.
Oh, that does look like a super fun adventure.
Yeah.
So it's, if you had, a lot of one color and then just a small amount of these other colors, you could really have fun with the shawl. Because it doesn't look like there's a huge amount required for the two other colors.
So this is a pretty generous wrap.
Yeah.
So I just say wrap, not triangular, right?
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to me, that looks like it's knit with all of the stitches on the needle.
I would say it is.
But that's
my kind of knitting.
So-
I love
So
just
lengthwise,
paging
yeah, it
through
looks like
the-
it's lengthwise.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's got to be hundreds of stitches
Yeah.
if that's the case.
But the effect is absolutely
I
beautiful.
love it.
It is.
I love it.
So now's a good point to say that if you have your Chiagu needles,
Yes.
we have cords and you can buy joint connectors.
Yes. So you may need 250s for this.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
And
Yeah.
those connectors, we also have, are they listed online, the tins at all? The enamel tins?
Oh,
Oh.
yes, the Firefly Notes tin.
I don't know if they're listed online because
No.
I love my connectors and they are precious.
Yeah.
But they need somewhere
To live.
To live.
Yeah, they're tiny.
Yes.
They look like little.
They're so tiny.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
So this one I also picked Point Perm Sock. It calls the pattern calls for two yarns held together to achieve a certain gauge, but the knitting math that we do here, our Point Perm Sock held as a single should be perfectly adequate
Okay,
to
that's
knit this project. So you don't need to buy double the yarn. You can
Right.
knit it with a single strand.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that, I know that's kind of a crunching point for a lot of people, and it's understandable. But this is kind of a nice way to still knit the project, but with, a single
just
strand.
a single yarn. Okay, so I think maybe what we'll do, because my intention is that I've left the pictures up for longer, is I'll get you to do one more thing, and that's to say what the yarn quantity is, and I will put that in the title under the picture so people understand how many yards we're talking about. Just the total yardage.
Yeah.
So you'll have to go into the pattern and see if there's colors that you need, but the total yardage, just to give people an idea of how much yarn you're going to need. Okay.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. And
the last one.
I'm giving you technically 7 today.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting close because I really need to go and check this Ravelry site out.
Right.
This is the last one, I promise.
No, I'm just totally teasing.
So this is the Lilong shawl, and this one makes me think of stained glass.
Oh, sorry. I was getting this one mixed up from what was the first one the Amber Shawl. The Amber Shore. This is the one I was thinking of. Yes. Okay. So that was my mistake.
So this one is done in 2 colors, and it's perfect for point prim sock, but it's got all these neat textured stitches with little pops of color on the inside. So it really does give the effect of stained glass. And then there's also a fun section of lace as well in the contrast color. And the colors that she chose are totally my colors.
Yeah.
Sucked me in right away.
I'm peeking over here trying to see her phone.
It's seagull and autumn birch.
So beautiful. Yeah. And just like you could put so many combinations.
Yes.
So I love all of these projects, and I think that this will probably be, like, one of these projects will be my next knit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Soon.
Yes. And if we also, she's almost all the patterns are shawls, wraps on her website. But if you really don't have enough motivation there with all of that, we do carry the book 52 Weeks of Shawls too and it reminded me of that because I think I saw in one of the pictures that when I was going through I sang Ravelry page, I think I saw one of the models that's models for Lina magazine.
Okay.
So I wondered if one of those shawls was featured in the 52 Weeks of Shawl.
It's possible.
Yeah. But I'm not sure. So I will find out, and I'll make a note underneath here if that's true. So
I find shawl knitting too the perfect travel knit.
Yeah.
So as you're planning your summer road trips and stuff, because you just don't have to do as much math.
Yeah.
And you don't reach sections where you're like, oh, okay, now I'm going to have to do all these decreases and increases in a very, it's usually just a steady rate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
or a steady rate the other way. And so I just love them. Shawls for travel.
Excellent. Well, that's a really good find, Simone.
Yeah.
That designer. Yeah.
Super excited to give one of her patterns a try.
Yeah.
I
Excellent.
think I might be joining you.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So now our projects that we're working on now.
Yes.
So we've got lots of fodder for the future, and we're going to start with Betsy because we want to know all about the sweaters.
All right. So the one I have not talked about really hardly at all, I just mentioned a few times, is my youngest daughter. We'll put a picture up of her here. I did not bring it with me because it is already been released into the wild and it is out there doing its thing.
Being used.
So I did choose to do it out of a yarn that I think is a fairly new yarn to the acrylic market. It's Premier Yarns Anti-Pilling is what it was called. So I would agree so far, and even as I worked with it, it wasn't pilling, but it's definitely growing a bit of a halo.
Right. So you chose that because she tends to be...
She cannot do wool unless it is super soft merino.
Yeah.
But she is a hard living kid who is into all kind of sports. So her sweaters are on and off and on the floor, and she's an elbow tape. So she tends to wear through soft merino very quickly. I have replaced elbows on a sweater and so cuffs. So at this point in life, I think the acrylic is just a good choice for her hard wearing life that she does. I will not be concerned if it's lying on a gymnasium floor. That's okay.
or
all day.
on the side of a playing
Yeah.
field somewhere.
Yeah,
Or,
but light pink, super soft merino is probably not the best choice for her lifestyle.
and she wears her sweaters
A lot.
A lot.
Both
She
of
loves
them
them.
do.
Yeah, exactly.
So this was one that she found on Etsy. So all we had was a photo. So we just worked from a photo. When she came to me and
you
said,
didn't have a pattern?
We did not have a pattern.
Oh, Betsy, look at you go.
When she
Another
came
you
to me-
can do it.
Yeah, wow.
And she said, Mom, this is what I want. I will admit there were several moments along the way that I was like, are you sure? Until my husband finally said, you need to stop asking. It's a gift. Just do what she wants. So in terms of technique, because you're seeing the picture, you've seen it. So what I did is I knit it in strips. So the blocks that you're seeing are not individual squares. I knit them in strips and then I seamed them together, which I'm very glad I did, because with the acrylic and this particular one, first of all, you'll note there is a lot of yardage in this sweater, which is exactly as she wanted it. But it's quite weighty, like very weighty. So this acrylic in particular is definitely heavier than wool. So those structured seams, I think, are very important for it holding together.
My goodness, you wouldn't want it to stretch.
And already, after seeing her in it for a couple of full days, I'm going to reinforce. So it's got a wide button band of ribbing that I picked up and knit, but I'm going to do a crochet chain stitch inside of that, just to give that some more structure. I probably would have been best off to knit the button band separate and then sew it to it. That would have given it that structure it needed. So just my point being, when working with acrylic, I definitely learned that I need to be a little more conscious about structured seams, maybe similar to like an alpaca that doesn't have a lot of stretch and bounce and has a little bit more drape and weight. So that was what I took from that one and learned. But she loves it and she's happy. So Christmas sweater number 1, check.
Yes, excellent.
And then I did Christmas sweater number 2.
Yeah.
The Weasley.
It's all
done and put together.
Nice. Yeah.
So she, of course, was being teased by someone, I don't remember, somewhere out in life, you know, what's the W stand for? And she's like, winner.
Or what you looking at?
Yeah. So anyway, it's Weasley is why she chose the W, because this is her Weasley sweater.
Yeah.
She did say to me, it's going to take some breaking in, Mom. And then I realized I never blocked after I did the neck. So it still has some spinning oil and a bit in there. So she has been wearing it as well.
So this is wool.
It's wool.
But not
100% wool, not
wool.
ours.
Yeah.
It does have, like, it's soft and drapey.
Yeah.
I think Simone, I don't know if you've even touched it yet. She would wear this and
say,
totally.
It's good.
Yeah. She would not have a problem with it at all.
No.
I think I could even wear it with a t-shirt. And she's okay with it too. She said just here on her elbows and around her neck. But then she's like, but don't worry, Mom. I will break it in or I will wear a long sleeve. So she is quite happy and dedicated to it.
So we had quite a long conversation in the last episode about these sleeves, and now I see them everywhere.
Yep.
You too?
Yeah. I think for some reason, well, again, because I haven't reblocked it since I seamed it, I'm wondering if it just looks more distinct. Like it hasn't sort of blended in, so maybe we just noticed it more. I don't know.
So Andrea on Fruity Knitting just finished a sweater, and she has the
and they're calling it modified drop. Right?
Yes, exactly.
So that's how it goes.
Yeah. So we had, and our viewers told us what it was, but I really never saw it before.
I want to say,
or noticed it before.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
Yeah. I want to say it's probably a more common European construction. So so it works great. She loves it, and it's doing well. You can see our puppy's been
so she's already wearing this.
She's worn it a few times to school.
You had to take it from her today.
I said, isn't it kind of warm in school? She's like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, she's committed.
Yeah. I thought
So nice sweater, I'll wear it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
She loves her hand knits.
She does.
That's awesome.
So then Matthews.
Oh, yes. Okay. So we don't have it here.
No, we ran into a bit of a bump. So I got it sewn together. I attached the sleeves and I went, those shoulders do not look like a very masculine sized shoulder. or a very me feminine sized shoulder. So I did try it on and I was like, oh no, this is not gonna fit. So
just recap a bit. He wanted a very fitted
fitted.
sweater.
So the body is very fitted because it's a jacket, but he's going to wear it more as a dress sweater.
Yeah.
So he is absolutely delighted with the width of the sleeves. It was, and even under the underarm, it's literally the sleeve cap just was not enough fabric from here to here. Right. So I did note that the back tends to come in. So we of course started pulling out all kinds of sweaters and shirts from his closet. So the back is coming in a bit far for most average shirts or men's design jackets that we were looking at. So I could rip back that top shoulder part and widen that, but I kind of don't want to. So the first thing I'm trying is just enlarging the shoulder cap, the sleeve cap on the shoulder. So it's going to need some work. So it is at the moment. It's not really in timeout, but it's definitely dropped off the
It's not going to be a
priority.
Quick fix.
No.
It's in the naughty pile.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So can you take a picture of it? Or is it apart?
I already ripped some of it back. So I can't really know. It's back in pieces again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just show a picture of the pieces that we have already, just so you know what we're talking about in case this is your first time watching. So,
and if all else fails, he will take it as a vest. I think it would make quite a nice vest, but we are not giving up yet. We will still see if we can get it.
Oh, well, it's lovely. And the knitting is beautiful in it.
I think so. So I don't know exactly what went wrong or what it is, but I've decided to stop trying to figure out what went wrong. And I told him, I'm going to treat you like one of my little critters in Giant.
Yeah.
So my plan is to knit most of the cap up to just before I'm going to start decreasing, actually put it together and then have try-ons as I go, like every inch, and I'm literally just going to shape it to him. I think is what my plan is, and we'll see if that works. But I'm kind of out on a limb now, and just making it up as I go. I have abandoned the pattern, and we're just going to figure it out.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
So,
so that's that. And Tessellation Nation. Yeah. But we can wait for that, and I'll go and we'll do it before but we did announce a make along last episode.
Before I jump to that, I will just folks, I still have the sheet vest. It just got set aside for these Christmas ones. Okay. So it will be coming back in a few weeks, maybe. And I'm not quite ready to pull it back into play yet, but it will come back and make its appearance again. And it's not finished, but it will get finished.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so Betsy's got her first critter made.
I know.
Almost. She still needs a few more details.
She does?
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is my BB dragon. And yes, you have to say it, BB.
It's so cute.
What was I calling her? Oh, raspberry parfait. I think is what she was. So she just reminds me of a raspberry. My oldest daughter said sour watermelon, but I was like, no, I think raspberry.
She's too sweet to be sour.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So she's got her cute little spine here. What she needs still is some wings.
Oh,
and she gets a little belly, like the reptilian belly look. So she needs that little applique. But I'm hesitating on it because, number one, I'm making her a brother in the contrast color. Okay. So I just need to make sure I have enough yarn to get all the bits and pieces that get traded.
So it's amazing that bean turns into the shape like that, because that's really where the artistry comes with these things. And you're very good at that. Yeah. I find.
So this is, now I did extend the snout on this guy a little more than this one, but this is when a face has been, needle shaped, I'm going to call it. So just not needle felted, but I take strings and pull different parts in. So that's her face there. So for example, these eyes will get tugged in a bit so that will come in. And then I will also bring in some nostrils for him that will get tightened in. Yeah. And he'll get a little mouth that will get tightened in. Yeah. And then I'll sit back and look at the shape and be like, if this is sticking out too far, then I just kind of just keep shaping it till it is what I want.
Is this string coming out of the back of his head one of them?
That was what was that? Oh no, that was just the closure.
Oh,
That was
okay.
the closure for the
Okay.
back there.
Okay.
Yes, I love the little dragon toes. I don't know if you can see.
They're bubbles.
They're
Oh,
adorable.
Little
yeah.
bubbles that get put in there.
Oh,
Little tiny
wow.
dragon toes.
Yeah.
It's a really fun pattern. It's Bibi Amigurumi. And I just had to Google it. I found it years ago, but it's not on an Etsy site or a Ravelry site. It's just her own
Oh, okay.
thing. And she has a bunch of free patterns. But this dragon is my favorite. And mine will not look exactly like hers, of course, anymore. Because anytime I do these critters, they eventually adapt and change
Yes,
into my
yes.
version of them. But this
Yeah.
is still pretty close
Yeah.
to hers.
I
but
love
yeah.
this
spine,
detail.
yeah.
The spine is so cute.
It's good. And this is one of the, like, these details are what really start to make them so fun. So I've done this in the past where I've done them triangular.
Oh, okay.
I change this part every time to
Okay.
make something.
Yeah.
I mean, not every time, but
Yeah.
you know,
Is this a cotton yarn?
No, this is actually a wool sock yarn that was
Oh.
just in stash that I had one skein of it. And I was
Okay.
like, forever I thought maybe I'd put these two together as a hat. I'm quite glad I didn't. Because
It's very effective for dragons.
it would be good for like running on the highway that you'd be spotted.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I don't do that. So
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
but it's
cute.
the great
It's,
fun
it feels
colors.
very silky, almost like a mercerized cotton.
No,
but
it's
not.
it is a wool with nylon in it.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe the nylon
Okay.
is,
Yeah,
which is
nice.
actually, I think, also helpful for these guys. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily use or design my toys with in mind that they'll really get played with
Yeah.
a lot. I view it more as like sculpting. But
Yeah.
if they end up as toys, that's fine.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
might not hold
Nice.
their shape the greatest. Yeah. So those are
And
my
this-
first two.
she sits
Oh
perfectly.
yes, Kim. They have to be able to stand
That's
or sit
right.
alone.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah, perfect.
So
All
there'll
right.
probably be more critters coming because once I get in the critter mood, I just
Yeah,
can't
you
stop.
haven't done it in a while.
I have not done
That's
it. in a
and
while.
that's kind of how you
Yeah.
start it. With
And my
the,
shelf is empty.
Oh,
The little
try to
bear was
keep-
the last one, wasn't she?
Yeah,
The bear with the beret.
The bear with the beret was
Yeah.
a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she hasn't gone on to the giveaway shelf. She was
She's special.
for me.
Excellent. Okay, so so do you want to talk about your Tessellation Nation now? Then
Sure.
You didn't start any animals.
No, not yet.
No. Okay.
Sure. It's not, again, a whole lot to show. I'm taking it slow on this project and I'm okay with that. So I'm still filling in all these different little flowers here to go in.
Yeah.
They take about, I think it's 5 or 6 different rounds where you start with a center, and then she's done some really fun detailing that she says you can do or you don't have to if you don't want
okay.
to. It's this outline here. Oh, which one?
So this
shows?
is Tessellation Nation by Sue Matten, and this is an online course that
Yeah,
Betsy's
through the
taking
Mercery.
through
Yeah.
the Mercery. Yeah.
Which I am now like way behind.
Oh,
But that's okay.
welcome to my world.
That was a little.
Yeah.
Just a little twist there. So what I'm enjoying about these particular patches the most is at the very end, you get to go and add this outline here. And she suggests that you can do it in the same colors as the petals just to neaten things up, or you can do it in a contrasting color and
Okay.
make them a little bit more of a pop. So
Right.
I'm doing both. So
Okay.
some of them I'm making it a pop. This one, I just kind of blended it in.
Yeah.
But this project continues to be about your color choices as you go.
Right.
And I really like it, but there's also some truth to some days I'm just not in the right frame of mind to make those decisions.
Yeah.
So I'm giving myself permission to not have to
Right.
do it then at
Right.
that moment.
And you can see this must be going to be a star, probably.
That would be a star that goes in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. How she.
And it's trimming
It's
it
a-
in.
I like the detail of
Yeah.
around the flowers because it really helps the flower to have definite edges and
Yes.
pop.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because here I can. So I'm doing the homage to the Granny Square, and I'm doing flowers as well in these. But there's no. This is more about blending.
Yeah.
This one because you go from one color to another. But I think I recognize some of the same things like the popcorn
Stitches.
stitches
Yeah.
and things. So
Yeah. And she continues to talk about the colors in the end that you really kind of your eye will go to are these frame colors.
right.
So she gives you the freedom to put whichever, as long as, so we have color families we're working from. So stick to your color families and do whatever you want in the middle.
Yeah, and that's the same as what we do with the homage. She introduces it in that, I think. So this is called the bilberry square because the frame color is bilberry, but you have whatever you want in the center. Yeah. So yeah,
you get quite a pile there.
Well, it's really I'm
just going to say one more note before we do that. I don't know, folks, if you're about as far as I am along with this. So far, I'm still very glad that I have labeled all of these.
Yes.
Maybe it won't matter. I don't know. But I'm really glad I did. So if you didn't do that and you're feeling lost and confused with all your pieces, just stick some labels on them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I'm, there's quite a lot of dog hair. Anyway, what I'm having to do is, because you're not putting anything together as you go in this one, which is something that she's done in her other things. So you can see.
Will it all be sewn?
I don't know. I haven't read ahead.
So or maybe you have a joining round that you do yet you don't know about.
Yeah, exactly. So I haven't read ahead, and so I just have now like this huge. It's quite a huge pile of squares. I'm almost done. I've got about 25% left, I would say. Wow. So it's really coming along, and but it's hard now to keep track of how your colors are going to look. So now if I do a number of squares and then I lay everything out, it kind of like in the layout that she's suggesting, which is all of the dark. I've chosen black to a light purple to be my frame. So I'll show a picture, and I'm laying them out when I can't really tell what the overall look of it is, because that's what this is, a game of trying to get from one color to another color in a gradient sort of. And I lay them out, and then I look at my phone, the picture on my phone often, because you can see right away which colors you're grabbing more often. You've got a little bit too much of that. You could use a pop of something else here, because it goes from very muted colors to very bright colors. And I'm just trying to find a more you go from something like this, which is quite muted, to something like this, and to see how they all go together
right beside each other.
yeah, well, right. So when I lay them out and then look at the picture, right away you see I discovered I didn't have enough of this brilliant bright pink, which I love, and I thought, ooh, okay, so I can put a little bit more of that, and I hardly used any of the yellow. Okay. So I put that in the center of this. So you're balancing like that. So if you're doing homage to the granny square and you haven't already figured this out for yourself, I would recommend highly just to take a snap of it laid out. And it really helps you right away to see what you're doing. So I'm doing a new square, which is these there's the little popcorn ones that I've had done before, and now you've got this different variation of that. I've
never done that one.
Yeah, so it's a cluster and a popcorn.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And I do too.
Yeah.
These are kind of a fun
I want to
3D
say
effect.
I have not. Did we do that? We didn't do that in the Wallflower.
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So that's
very fun.
Yeah, it's a great project.
I like all of her projects. I will not lie.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you are flying on this
I know.
one.
I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, clearly.
Because it's easy to do. You can memorize after you've done the first one. They all kind of follow the same kind of method, I would say. So once you get your half trebles and your trebles straight on which row, then I don't have to look at the pattern anymore. Okay. And so it's really, I'm just doing it like picking up. We've been having internet problems because while I'm waiting for things to load, I just do a couple rows.
Nice. And it's a good stress reliever.
Yes, it is. It's really fun. Yeah. And I'm still working on the Wallflowers as well. Yeah. So this is still the dark corners. These are a little bit more complicated.
I was just sitting here thinking, what is the difference between that makes these so much more complicated versus this? And you can tell me if my observation is correct or not. I feel like you are not changing the number of stitches as often on these
Right.
squares as you are
Right.
from round to round
Right.
in these shapes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
at the corners, obviously you're increasing. That's where you get
Always
your
the same.
enlarging, but it's always, and otherwise it's just straight across.
Yes.
Where these, you are constantly increasing so that you can be growing it, and you're increasing in multiple spots. You're counting. You have to
Yes.
count.
Yes. And you rip out.
Yeah.
Because
Because you
all of a
miscounted.
sudden it's not, and
Yeah.
because it's rounded, it's not as easy to tell if your count is off.
Yeah.
And you've got these dips, and then some places you skip stitches
Some.
at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's just not as easy to know if you're in the right place or not until you get to the next round, and then something doesn't fit. So
Uh-oh.
yeah, and she builds up this straight edge slowly, so it's easy to get around, and you just get this feeling like, I don't think I'm in the right place for this.
Yeah.
What I'm when I'm doing the increase. So and you skip stitches, and then you go into, make sure you go into every stitch, and then
So I think there's just a little bit more intuition that comes with this one, which is why she does the building
Right.
of from the granny square up
Right.
to this, so that you're just more familiar with how it all comes
how
together.
it builds. Yeah. And so, and then you go even further with the tessellation.
Yeah, and I think they're just different shapes than the wallflower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I said before, in terms of the crocheting, I wouldn't say that the Tessellation's crocheting is that much more advanced. It's still, I mean, I think this is pretty much,
Yeah.
where it's at. It's more your color. With the wallflower, you get a pattern
Right.
that tells you what color and where to use it.
Yeah.
With the Tessellation, it's a little more open-ended.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so I'm still doing both. So it's but as I said in the last episode, Sue suggests that you join as you go. So this last round that I've done here would technically be supposed to be joined to this. But I've decided now the blanket, when you go to put these corners on the blanket, you've got the full blanket in the middle, and you're trying to manipulate the blanket, and then you're joining like in different places. I've just decided I'm going to just do that last one, and then I'm going to sew.
Nice.
And I did that already on one of the corners, and it's much easier.
Easier on the brain.
Easier on the brain. It's probably, you are joining every stitch.
Yeah.
I'm still not joining every stitch on my wallflowers, but I think with these I will, because I'm going to sew.
Which I saw with this patch, what she was talking about, how you have to be careful because it's a little bit warbly.
Yeah.
But I am quite confident that will block out if I take the time, I even take the time to block this blanket. This blanket is going to be used as a blanket, so I am not anticipating that it is going to stay in this exact pristine rectangular shape anyway.
Okay. Excellent. So we're both having fun with that. Okay, so that's it. So now it's your turn.
Okay.
You've got a big list too. Yeah.
I do. So let's start off with the Audrey in Unst vest.
Yeah,
by
this is
Gunnar
really
Johnson.
cute. When I looked that
It's
up
so
after the
cute.
last episode.
I got a fair bit done. It looks weird because I've got it all on the same knitting cable.
Yeah, all the pieces?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's knit bottom up.
I'll put a picture.
There we go.
Yeah.
Knit bottom up. I've got the front pieces done up to where the shoulder seam is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cute.
It's been crunched up in my bag. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm working on the back now. I did make a few little modifications because my row gauge is not the same as the pattern.
Okay.
So, and I also wanted to make it a little bit longer. So I extended the body a bit, and I added an extra 2 sections of lace in the upper body because I wanted a little bit more space between like the armpit and the shoulder.
It's really, you can't really see the detail on the pictures.
Yeah.
It
I'll have to take a photo of it.
Got a little tricky
Yeah,
little thing across.
It looks a little gnarly and wracked right now, but
This is a rustic wool.
It is.
Yeah.
So I have to finish the back, and then I'll join the shoulders, and I'm going to do the button band because she gives you a couple different options. So I'm going to do the rib button band, and I'm going to have buttons all the way down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she gives you the option of either a rib button band or a nice I-cord. It looks really, really smooth and nice. And then a couple of buttons up top, or 3, or, all the buttons.
It does have a little bit of a flare on the bottom. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's really cute. Yeah.
She also gives options in the pattern for a straight hem or a high-low hem.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I've
So
seen lots of those around.
Yeah.
if you wanted a little bit longer in the back, you can choose that option too. And even though it's on like a fingering weight yarn with tiny needles, it still works up fairly fast, especially once you divide for like the front and the back.
Right.
So it took no time at all to do this little section here.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I am definitely looking forward to wearing it.
Yeah. Cute.
Yeah.
It's very cute. Yeah. Nice.
All right.
Okay. The next.
Next.
You can do whatever. This was a surprise. I said this before. I come in on, I don't know, whatever. Friday mornings, and Simone and Betsy have kind of done an outline of what the podcast is going to be. And I was like, when I was typing this up yesterday, I was like, oh, I didn't even know about this.
This was kind of an impromptu cast on because I wanted just something fairly simple. And I also had a bag of the cotton cashmere.
Okay.
Yes. So I
was
decided,
completely intrigued because I don't picture. Did we say what it is yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's Ranunculus by, I'm going to not say this right, Midori Hirose? Yeah. Or Hirose Cafe or something like that.
Yes.
It's probably my 4th or 5th Ranunculus.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And this is in cotton cashmere.
So have you knit anything like with the cottony type of?
No.
No. Okay. So that's why I was intrigued. It was like,
Yeah. So I have some balls of the cotton cashmere in a nice gray. And I decided that, it would be perfect for a summer garment where, it's not super hot and it's not super cold.
Right.
Just kind of in between. And it's one of those patterns that almost everybody has knit.
Not me. You? No? Okay. I think we're the only 2 people in the world that haven't knit it. Yeah.
I can't promise I will.
And I actually was looking at it the other day. I don't know why, because you might have had it up on the thing, and it's a pretty amazing sweater because it doesn't take a lot of yarn.
Nope.
It fits every body type, and it seems like the more positive ease you have,
the better it looks.
And so some of them are like literally, I'm not saying this at all in a derogatory way, but some of them are huge, like with 37 or 42 inches of positive ease.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they look flowy and beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the perfect
and you've got very slim people modeling very big sweaters, and then you've got other body types that they have them a little bit more fitted, and it looks good on everybody.
It does. It doesn't matter your body shape or your size. It's just one of those patterns that seems to fit every person.
Yeah. It's like the rocket tee,
except for me.
Except for you. Well, it fits you. You just don't like the way it looks on you.
I just look like a cave woman.
Yeah. It's another one though that you can have the size.
And it's so funny too because when you guys did the rocket tee, a few years ago, it looked so great on Jen Hicks.
Yeah.
I was like, I want one of those so bad.
Yeah.
So I knit it, and I was so disappointed when I looked in the mirror. It's just it had nothing to do with the design or the designer.
Yeah.
It was me and my personal preferences.
I was going to say, is it not a V-neck?
It is.
Because Simone
It is.
V-neck.
No, that's right. Yeah.
And I've decided that the reason why I don't like V-necks is because I don't have a terribly feminine shape. And I think that that's part of the reason why I don't like it on me. Because to me, I look like a man in the mirror whenever I wear it.
Well, who knows if you would have a feminine shape because you're doing your kettlebells and you're doing
it's not going to get any better.
You do a marathon every 2 days and you're doing like
Yeah, it's not going to
You're
be
very
any better.
athletic.
That
Yes, very
is
athletic.
feminine shit.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yes. Right, you're right,
Yeah.
Betsy. Yeah, in the typical what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's just I tend to have larger shoulders and not a lot of, I'm pretty much up and down. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of curvature there,
Well,
really.
there's not curvature in the front, but
No.
you're curvy.
This is going from bad to worse.
I was just waiting it out. Waiting it out.
So needless to say, V-necks are off the table for me because it's not my favorite, but they look really great on everybody else.
Yeah.
So it was like that agapanthus, like it looked adorable on
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just
But
not
that
gonna
was a
have-
really deep V-neck too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was
Yeah.
that was a bit
Yeah.
iffy.
But back to Ranunculus.
Yeah. we got completely off track.
Imagine.
Oh, yeah.
So I've started the yoke. I've done the short row
Yeah.
shaping, and I'm onto the fun little textured stitches.
So these are pretty big needles.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am knitting with 6 millimeters.
Because they
Yeah.
were supposed
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
And I was a bad knitter, and I didn't do a gauge swatch. I just cast on.
Right.
Wow.
From what
Because
you
I'm
just
very
said, it
forgiving.
doesn't matter.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So it was a very
And what size did you cast on?
3.
It's 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they don't. It's not even. It's 1, 2, 3, up to 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah,
now, or-
they do give the finished size and recommended ease, but I mean, it's just a recommendation. You can play fast and loose with it. I think,
just everything we said.
yeah,
It just doesn't matter.
I think this one is the size 3 works out to about 46 inches.
Okay.
For
Is
the
it bell
bust.
shaped?
No.
No, straight down. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think like it would.
It's an amazing design. Like it's no wonder it's like the one. I think it's the most knit sweater.
One of them, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be
Yeah,
because everybody except for you and I. And now I'm kind of like, no, I'm not going to knit one, even though I was looking at
don't
it.
tell me what to do.
No, because when it was up there, I was like, oh, it is tempting. Yeah.
Although if they do it on a size 6 needle, you
It's
could have it
fast.
done in no time.
Yes, and it looks good in every type of yarn,
It does.
and all the way down from kid silkays all the way up to chunkier.
Yep.
It's like it's an amazing pattern.
My first Ranunculus was done in Bell River DK.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the vineyard colorway. And
I've seen it in kid
love that.
silkays. I've seen
Yeah.
it in lace. I
Yep.
like our Eldon lace, and
Yeah.
it's an amazing pattern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So this was I was just kind of, I didn't want to work on the projects that I had on my needles. I was being a stubborn little knitter. Like, I want something new. So I had a bag of the cotton cashmere,
yeah,
and I decided, well, I may as well give this a go. I've never worked with this yarn before.
yeah,
So this is the perfect kind of project to test it out.
yeah,
Because it's not something that I have to focus on too much.
yeah.
And the size isn't crucial. So
Right.
if cotton grows a little bit, that's fine. But it
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be doing
No.
any of that.
No,
It
it's a
seems
little
to be
bit surprising that yarn,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's a really sturdy yarn.
Yeah.
But it feels like a cotton when you knit with it, but you can feel the cashmere. Like
Yes.
it's soft.
Wow.
Yeah, and you'll
Nice.
see when you get because in my You Can Do It sweater, which is I could do it if I knit on it, maybe, but it starts to get a little bit of a halo.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I need more gray sweaters in my life. 'Cause
Yeah.
I only have 5.
Yeah.
You need your favorite colors.
Yeah, exactly.
You wear them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Could
and
we
that's it,
interest
right?
you in raspberry?
Yeah.
Betsy?
Yes.
Simone.
Oh, yeah. I call this the color of my soul.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just love it.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Okay,
So,
good.
yeah.
So that'll be done for the next episode.
No, but I'm making
Yeah.
good headway.
Yeah.
And it's TV knitting,
Yeah.
which is great. So
You need that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something really simple.
Excellent. And what else do you have on your list?
I actually have
the
a
Oxbow
finished
stuff.
project.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, the ox. Well, there must have been a lot of wrestling.
No.
Yeah, no. Simone's daughter is a wrestler
Yeah.
at a high level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I finished these Oxbow socks by Andrea Mowry
they're
in
nice.
our
They
point brim sock.
feel dreamy.
They do. And Kitzel K's held double in just the heels and the toes.
Yeah.
They are so simple and fast and satisfying. I did make a mistake on one of them.
You did?
Yep. There it is. It's too flat. I skipped some of the switching stitches.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. But you have
Looks
to look
like
really
Ken's
hard.
knitting.
And as I always say, if someone is that close to your feet,
Yeah.
they're too close.
Yeah. It might get kicked in the teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah, these are great. These were my shop project, so I guess I need a new shop project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by shop project, she means when we are waiting on customers that just want to browse, we always have some kind of little
Others
project
are
that way.
shopping.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're here to answer questions, but we're doing.
We'll let you do
something.
your thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm happy with them. I haven't washed and blocked them yet.
Yeah.
Because I just finished yesterday.
Yeah.
But
Lovely.
yeah.
They're very silky.
Yeah. I love my point firm socks.
Yeah.
I might have a few.
Yeah.
Just a
Couple.
few.
Couple.
Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
And what else?
Spinning.
Spinning.
I've been doing a lot of spinning. So not so much knitting, but a lot of spinning.
Okay.
So let's see. There's that.
Nice.
Sparkle.
Ooh, there's
Sparkle.
sparkle. That
So
one,
this
yeah.
is a Lewis and Jane bat.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that little
finished
heron's
that.
getting buried.
Yeah.
This is another Lewis and Jane bat.
Oh, okay. I see a little something develop. Oh, this is nice.
Just
Oh,
keep
yeah.
going.
Okay.
And
You might have a few spindles.
just a couple. I started on my last bag of Queen's Garden.
Oh, okay. But
So
there's sparkle in that too.
yeah, that's accidental.
Okay.
When you got this much sparkle going on.
Yeah.
So I'll show this. This
wow.
is the bat for Queen's Garden. It's a favorite kind of fluff of mine. Belfast Mini Mills used to make it, but they don't have their mill anymore.
Right.
So I was hoarding this like pirate's treasure.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, it's nice.
just decided the other day that, I should probably start spinning it
Yeah.
and enjoy
Okay.
it.
So these aren't even all your spindles.
I have one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have my Scott spindle.
Yeah.
So from this point, these still need to be plied?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So here's a question, because these are all support spindles. So if you used a drop spindle, would you mix a project where you would use a support spindle and drops? Does it make any difference to the?
No.
No? Okay.
No, spun is spun pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as you're just being consistent with
Yeah,
the
as
way-
long as you're going
yeah.
in the same direction.
Yeah.
Like if you decide to spin in the opposite direction,
Then you have a problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
either that or you're making a boucle.
Yes. Okay. So it's not support spindle that you're teaching at the Fiber Festival.
No.
It's drop spindle,
Yeah.
but you can
Yeah.
also make these.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like the support spindles because I get to be lazy whenever I spin because it's in my little teacup in my bowl or in my lap, and I don't have to stand up. I don't have to use my feet. I just use my fingers.
Yeah.
Go
Right.
for it.
And we did get some drop spindles back in stock and support spindles from Scott from Fox Mountain Spindles. Yeah. So.
Is it faster on a wheel than it is?
Yes,
doing this?
for me
Okay.
anyway.
For
I
you
know
it
some
would be,
people
okay.
are really fast with spindles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some people are probably faster with spindles than they are with a wheel, but I just like the kind of slow pace. It's not slow, but it's a slowed down pace, and you
Okay.
really get to enjoy the fiber whenever you use the spindles, whether like drop spindles or support spindles.
Yeah,
So it's a
the
process
spinning
then.
wheel, you can just keep going and going and going and going. Whereas this, you have to stop and then you wind and then you stop and wind. So it's a little bit, that would probably, it's not the spinning itself that's faster on the wheel. It's just that you're just continuously spinning.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think so.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I guess, but which is not,
So,
very
yeah.
informed.
A
Yeah.
little bit of spinning. Just a little
Yeah.
bit lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
So that has been wrestling activities.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I find lately that whenever she wrestles, I get tense.
You're tighter. You're doing
I
more twists per
Come
inch.
home from wrestling events with sore jaws because I grit my teeth and everything. I'm like,
Oh,
don't get hurt.
oh no.
So I find that with the support spindles, I keep my hands busy and it helps relax me, and I don't mess up any knitting.
Yeah.
Because I can't knit. And I used to be able to knit and
Yeah.
watch, but I can't knit and watch anymore.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she's now on the Canada Games team, right?
Yeah.
Officially,
Yeah.
yes. So Yeah, so it's getting exciting.
Yeah.
When are the Canada Games?
In August.
In August. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they just
Okay.
got back from nationals where she got a bronze medal.
Yes.
So,
yes. And she was ranked lower, right? And then so she's moved up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Okay. Wow.
Good for her.
Yeah. Yeah. So congratulations, Willow.
Because you think she's watching our podcast?
No. Oh, no, for definitely not. Okay. So, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just going to do a little blurb about the Fiber Festival because, based on some comments that we got from previous Fiber Festivals, crocheters want to know what's going on. So we have, actually I'm going to ask you to pronounce her last name, Roseanne Fleischauer. Do you see it down there? Is that how you would pronounce it?
Maybe. Yeah.
Germany, kind of, whatever.
Fleischauer? Yeah.
Fleischauer.
But she may not pronounce it in a German accent.
Right.
It all
Okay.
just depends.
Yes. So Roseanne is from the US and she's teaching 4 classes in crochet, and she does crochet fundamentals. So right from the beginning. So they're all level 1, but they're different. So she's doing like a starter crochet. She's doing a crochet for knitters. So if you already know how to knit and then you want to add to that crochet, she's doing a hat and she's doing granny squares. So I'm going to hurry up right now because the UPS guy just came and we're at the end. So the Fiber Festival is in Charlottetown, October 23rd to the 25th. And we hope to see you there. And we're going to go to the Harmony part, which is Simone's video of setting day in Murray Harbor. Yeah. Okay. So bye.